Hi, and welcome back. So we have today with us Keith Ippel, who is one of the big impact investors here in Canada. So excited to have you from our home province in British Columbia. How are you doing today, Keith?
Yeah, great, Sydney. It's fantastic to be on, and yeah, things are going really well. We're very fortunate to have the lockdown starting to lift here in Vancouver and in BC, just in time for spring. So yeah, life is good.
Great. And I know that you have been putting out so much content and virtual events, some of which I've had the benefit to also attend. So that was super great. I especially like the one where you had a panel of international impact investors
Mm.
all at the same time, and people could write questions and they were answering all these different questions from people in different time zones. It was really, really cool that you did that. And I felt that it was a really great, influential kind of event where people were unveiling things that they didn't know about impact startup or impact investing.
Yeah, yeah. We're very fortunate. This is one of the benefits of this crisis that we're in, is that suddenly you get to eliminate borders and you get to be able to tap into the wisdom and expertise of people anywhere in the world, as you say. And so I think for us, it's just really important to play our role in this time of COVID and recession, in support of entrepreneurs and investors.
Mhm.
And yeah, very fortunate to have those people come in. So yeah, I was glad you were able to be a part of it. So
It was a really great event. And going on that, in terms of the trends of impact that you may be seeing, what are some of the bigger ones that you foresee in 2021, 2022 kind of thing, and going forward from where we are today?
on the entrepreneur side, I think what we're seeing, the arc, especially for the next 12 months, is really going to be focused on a combination of resilience and recovery for businesses that are struggling, and then of course for those who are recession proof and kind of directly addressing issues related to COVID and the recession. We're definitely seeing a lot of opportunities to grow businesses and to invest. But on the entrepreneur side, you're going to see those two trends. I think we're going to see a return to incubation in kind of December 2020 through probably June of 2021. As a lot of those temporary layoffs, the realization will become some of those are permanent. And a lot of people are looking to make their own way, and create their own impact. And that's actually ultimately will be very exciting. And then I think when we get into the summer of 2021, what we'll see the reemergence of growth programs for those who have made it, survived sort of the recession, and then also those businesses that have been growing and looking to scale it to the next level. So if those are true on the impact investing side, in the near term, what we're seeing a significant move into healthcare, all kinds, mental health, mobile health, um, digital health overall. And we are seeing a lot of work in ed tech. We're seeing a lot of work in what I will call progressive food and agri-tech. The crisis, on one hand, changed certain needs, and especially things like logistics and distribution. But on the other side, we still have a growing population pool globally, and we need to feed them. And then the other piece that we're actually seeing a lot of movement on is clean tech, environment tech, sustainability, circular economy. I think people have seen a slightly different world during the lockdown, and I think people really want to double down on that. And for impact investors, I think we see this as our time um, to help reshape the future of business for good. Yeah.
Can you give us an example of the food and circular economy that you might be seeing?
Well, so one initiative that I'll highlight is something called the Circulate Initiative. And, folks, you guys can Google it. And it's an initiative driven by multiple corporations. About $100 million US is being invested in 6 of the 7 most plastic polluting countries in the world. So India, Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, Philippines. Um, and the initiative that they've kicked off in collaboration with Second Muse is called the Incubation Network. But really trying to address the challenge at the source with innovation, with entrepreneurship, with the deployment of capital. And so that's, I think, a really, really powerful example that I've seen.
Wow, that is great. And I'm sure that this is like, new things that we can all be exploring a little bit more of, because it's very difficult for people to to foresee what might happen, especially if we're not the ones that are always getting this like cluster of information all the time, being pitched at all the time, or going to these kinds of different events and conferences and things like that. So it's really interesting to see, you know, where there might be opportunity and gaps and things like that that come up from any big world shift, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. And I think the important part now is, and Sydney, you talked earlier about, you know, content out on LinkedIn and webinars. I think now is the time to really revisit the topics that we personally are passionate about, and really look at who's stepping out into those topics in places like LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. People who are talking about what's happening currently, people are talking about where things are reshaping. And I do want to highlight one thing as well, which is in all of the trends that we've talked about, you know, which are all true, there is actually a very interesting and important undercurrent. And that is that throughout this process, you know, there is really a hard push to support small communities. How were they going to retain relevance and resilience as we move towards a knowledge-based economy?
Yeah.
Now in the face of COVID and a recession, it's now more than ever, it's so critical for them to do that. But I also think that people are saying, you know what, I'm willing to invest that time and that energy and that money to do it, because many of us are from small towns.
Yeah.
And many of us also see how certain places like San Francisco are, you know, just unaffordable. And so we really see this opportunity to kind of, you know, reassert a more global perspective that not only includes big cities, but really embraces them as hubs. And small communities can be incredibly vibrant and then just be spokes that kind of weave together and then into the hubs. And I think that is going to be a trend that we will see globally. We'll definitely see it in Canada. It's already happening. And it's a great place for us to focus on.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely true, or else that we're going to have overpopulation problems
Yeah.
in few small areas in every country. And so, and then the opportunities will also be only prevalent in certain places, and that's also, you know, disproportional.
Yeah.
And speaking of being, you know, having certain kinds of disproportional attention, are there certain kinds of things that, for example, startups can do in order to have more attention, especially those ones that are new to the investment scene? And is there going to be any kinds of shifts in terms of startup investment versus impact investment if you are new to the scene?
So for entrepreneurs, I think the very first thing to think about is segmentation, right? So we as entrepreneurs, when we're taking our product or service into the market, we're saying, hey, I have a target customer, right? You know, and we can define those by demographics, or if we're B2B, by company size, et cetera. Great. Somehow as entrepreneurs, when we go to raise money, we completely forget that. You know, we're just like, hey, you look rich. Why don't you invest in my company, right? And it's actually the biggest waste of time. And it's actually disrespectful to not only yourself and your company, but it's also disrespectful to the investor, right? If I only invest in B2B clean tech and you're a, you know, a B2C fintech play, you know, you call me, I'm like, you didn't even look, you know? And so the process is what we call qualifying prospects. If you believe you're an impact investor, just remember that you need to equally discuss impact and your business model, your financial structure, your revenue model, et cetera. Because, you know, if you want to change the world, you can't do that when you go bankrupt, right? You need to have a sustainable business that if it's sustainable, it will grow and it will thrive. And if it does that, then you can change the world. So I think in a recession, it's especially critical to have that.
Perfect. So no spray and pray solution.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yes.
As you guys can see, I can go on and ask Keith questions forever because he has this huge wealth of knowledge, and I always find it so great to be able to spend time like this with you. So to get to know you a little bit more, we're going to play a little game.
Sounds good.
You have your 2 pieces of paper that I asked you to take out. Okay, awesome.
Ready.
So on one piece, you're going to write a truth, and on one piece, you're going to write a lie. And I'm going to try and guess which one is which. And I'm going to do the same. So I'll show you mine first.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first one.
Okay.
Am I vegetarian? And then this because the second one lived in Copenhagen. So which
So
one do you think is the truth and which one do you think is a lie?
you lived in Copenhagen. Truth.
Okay, that is true. Yes. And I eat everything except olives. So that makes me not vegetarian.
My first one.
Okay. You wrote a lot.
Crowdfunding did not exist in 2007. The second one, I used to race cars.
I feel okay. Crowdfunding did not exist in 2007. I'm gonna say I think you used to race cars.
You are right.
Hey! Oh my god, that is one. Tell us about your car racing. How did you get into that? And do you have any crazy stories?
Crazy story. I got into it because my dad was into it. And so it was a family thing. This is actually back in Southern Ontario. We started to race cars a little bit as a family. And so it was low budget and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Crazy stories. I was banned from a racetrack for 6 weeks. And so it's probably a longer story. I didn't hurt anybody, honest.
Okay. How
No,
else do
no
you get
people were
banned?
harmed in the movement. But yeah, definitely some fun stories to be had in that. We actually, one time at a racetrack, we got fogged in. And no one could leave the racetrack. This was at the end of the night. It was a Saturday night. And it was so foggy, you literally couldn't drive. And so what ended up happening, true story, is about 450 people camped in their trucks and in their cars and like just had to wait for the morning, right? And so it was really, really quite funny to see this experience of everybody getting up first thing in the morning, bleary-eyed and stiff, from being in their cars. It was quite funny.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, crowdfunding, as this being a lie. So the reason it's a lie is because crowdfunding actually just started in 2007, barely. Now, the last I looked, I think at the end of 2019, the stat I think was that crowdfunding collectively had raised over $65 billion. And so I just, for me, that's always a fun one to share because I think, to your point, like it feels like forever ago, but it's actually only been a short period of time.
Yeah.
And it's really transformed, added a completely new dimension to investing that didn't exist in 2006. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I can't wait to see where it goes next.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much for playing the game with me. It was really fun to get to learn more about you. And Keith, please share with us something that you're really excited about.
Yeah. So thanks for asking. There's something I'm very excited about right now, which is in response to the COVID crisis, and this is my third recession as a leader of a business. If there's one thing I've learned is that it takes time to get through a recession. So the last recession, which was 08 to 10, was fully 18 months. It would not be unrealistic to expect this one to be similar in length. And so we at Spring, we jumped on it pretty quickly. We created a business resilience and recovery program, which is an online program designed to complement all those, kind of group support and one-on-one support elements that are happening. We did a pilot launch that started 2 weeks ago with the city of Campbell River in British Columbia. We're seeing great impact already. We're in the process of rolling it out across the province. And, just that real need to help entrepreneurs to, survive this crisis and to survive the recession and then be ready to come out thriving, I think is an area of deep passion for us. It's as I say to the team, I think this is our chance to have a gigantic impact in the world. We will be launching it in the next couple of weeks in a couple of countries globally as well. So I'm really excited to be announcing that in the next couple of weeks. And so that's something I'm super excited about. Yeah.
Fantastic. What a great initiative. And you guys, we're going to put Spring's website in the description below, so look out for it. And so thank you so much, Keith, for coming on. We really appreciate having you.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. It's great to catch up again, Sydney, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this out. If anybody wants to connect it in with me, like my LinkedIn profile as well is great. And yeah, I look forward to sharing the impact journey with you.
Awesome. Thank you.